Hey, party people, welcome back to MVM and thank you. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for being fans of the channel, sticking with us in the Discord, coming in and commenting on our videos and just watching. It's a crazy time for content creators as a whole on YouTube, and it's also a crazy time in our hobby with the tariffs and things of that nature. But I want to move on and talk about Elden Ring by Steamforged Games. Now, this launched on crowdfunding a couple years back. I was actually doing a video with David, and we were talking about cost proposition and timing of campaigns. And then even back then, I was talking to Alex. That was one of the first times we met, talking about Monster Hunter and Primal and all these different things. But just the time of the things when they release, and I think timing is very important now. Interesting when things release because of the tariffs. And now, flash forward to the game that we were talking about, Elden Ring has delivered. Elden Ring was a very popular adventure game during the pandemic time. It almost came right on time because it was like a time where people who were new to that Souls type adventure game, hard adventure video game, that it was a little bit more welcoming to those people, but the same dark world with the same, pretty much the same level of commitment as far as you had to get good at it. And Steamforge dove into that and leaned into it and decided to make a board game that's built around it. In this game, you are adventurers, you are the tarnished, and you're moving around this world. And in this series, where Steamforge has launched so far, is representing like one big area. And you have several different boxes, which are their own individual campaigns that you can make. There's some crossover figures that are kind of like alts, but they typically can cross over in campaigns, or they can just be a regular base box on their own in a more compact, less mission kind of thing. So you actually have a way of saving money. I'm talking about the actual main box, what I would call the big box, the one that's the most expensive, which is the grafted king. There's like Weeping Islands, there's East Limgrave. You can buy extras and stuff like that. I am actually a backer of the game, even though I typically receive some things from Steve Forge. So I want you to know that. But I spent somewhere in the neighborhood of like 200 something euro to get this game plus shipping and stuff like that. So I'm invested. I want to let you know that ahead of time. But typically, I do review some of Steam Forge's games. With that, what are we doing in this board game? Well, we're simulating some of that within the game. We are simulating it through exploration. We're doing some narrative missions, and then we're also doing battle on these battle scenario books. And I want to talk about how each one of those kind of weaves into this entire experience, and does it hit the mark? Does it make you feel like you would even, you're somewhat in the Elden Ring universe? Or if you don't own the game, like you don't own that video game, but you just think it's cool, like it's a dark themed game, I'm going to hit you up with that because I'm not 100% like super Elden Ring fan. Okay, so it's like I'm not a super fan. It didn't take over my life. I didn't beat the game or anything like that. I got stuck and I quit, just like all the other Souls games. So what does that look like? Well, I'm going to be talking up here. I'm going to be talking on the table. So say hello to Jeremy at the table, and then we'll also show you, just show you some of these things. But you're going to get all my thoughts on this game. Let's dig into it. This is a little peek into the exploration because I'm probably babbling on the mic here, so I'll mix it up in here. But you're going to have a kind of a deck of tiles, and you'll have that grow over time and change over time. There's about 60 of them in there. You'll be going to a scenario book, and each one of the boxes has a scenario book, and you'll be paging through these to find out what quest you'll be on. Now, you'll have a set of cards that you'll get from your vault, this big set of cards that you are kind of unlocking and finding things and putting things in and out. And you'll have something like this, which are exploration cards. Also got a new camera over here that tells you kind of what you want to do. Now, in the beginning, it's more of a kind of a set path to kind of show you which types of scenarios that exist. And there's a lot more that I'm probably going to talk about today. But you're going to also have the kind of path you want to choose. Do you want to go fight a boss? Do you want to go down a gauntlet where you're fighting a bunch of enemies and then fighting a boss? Or do you just want to explore or, do something like that's narrative related? So you'll have those options as you kind of expand your journey. I got through about like 15 missions, so I kind of have a good idea of where I came down on this game, although my thoughts are complex. So looking at this exploration, which is a major portion of the game, you're going to have these tiles where you're going to be exploring, and you'll have 3 actions on your turn. You'll be moving out and finding different things, and then going over to these chits, which I'm going to show you a picture of them. There's a lot of chits over here, and then there's a lot of decks over here with a lot of different things on here. So as you see these icons, you'll be looking on your table, looking through all these things and trying to find the right ones that go on here. And that's down to like organization. So you're going to have this, then you may have your NPCs or different enemies and different types of things there. They could be different stuff. So let's just kind of pull this out. Up there goes an enemy. So now we have an enemy that's going to pop up there. And you'll notice as I pop this up, the enemies aren't going to chase after me. Once I see an enemy, it's not like it's going to come after me and then we're going to attack it. It's just there. So unless I'm playing it totally wrong. And then you have the Spirit Candle, which this is actually one of the sets of cards that gives you a little bit of something to do and chase, and then it gives you an awesome, cool benefit when you do. So you'll see these cards along the way. You can only have one of them, but it's one of those cool little things that happens to you during your adventure that you can use later on. You'll also have little quests that you need to go on, so that will help you develop your character. So you'll have an idea of what you need to do. So it's like little goals. Once again, you'll go to your vault and find more of those. So you want to interact with these things, and that's another thing you can do on your turn, one of your 3 actions on your turn. But I'm just going to keep showing you tiles and just talk about what's on them so you get an idea. So this is one of the hardships that pops up in the game. Hardships are events that happen to you that you kind of have to react and use your attributes deck. So I'm just going to stimulate some of that stuff here, push out my board a little bit so you can see some more of what's going on here. So let's say we have a hardship. We'll go to the deck and grab one of these hardships. Now, the decks will evolve during the game, so certain things like your events and different hardships will probably pop up. Events as they happen, they'll tell you what to put in there and and develop that part. But let's say we get this hardship. Now, as I said before, you're going to be kind of developing your character, so certain things will be more so in your deck. You may have more heads and bodies and different things like that that you have to beat. Now you're going to be looking at your cards here and it's going to say, hey, you need to have 5, which can be a combination of icons that are in your deck that will be added up. And if I don't, during the daytime, this will happen, and during the night, this will happen. There's a daytime and a nighttime cycle. So I'll flip over the deck here. I got 2 arms. The arms represent different things that are in here. Let's just say I flip it again. Maybe I'm looking for a specific thing. So if I draw that, I did not pass. If I draw this one here, the head is equal to 4, and this body is equal to general, which is 1. So then I would pass it, and that's a 5. This is a very simple concept, and that's something that happens to you as soon as you open it up. So you would actually have this go down, and then you would have this go added onto this here. So you have these different things that you're going to interact with that are going to happen to you. But most of the things that you're going to deal with in exploration mode is you're going to make them happen when you go to them. So that would be that, let's say the end of my turn, I did 3 things. Let's just say I explored. That would be 3 things. But at the end of my turn, depending on if it's day or night, so I would pull out this deck here, that would be a day cycle, and I would flip over this card to represent the daytime or the nighttime, and it just says time passes. But sometimes you will have specific things like this is an eventful day, and during the eventful day, I'll draw a card from the event deck. Well, the event deck is another deck. You'll have that in there, and then you'll pull out from the event deck, and the event deck will have something that may say, hey, you draw a hardship, or maybe there's something that happens to you that you can perform. Maybe it's good or bad, mostly bad. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of different things that you're interacting with during this mode, but then maybe you want to zoom into the combat. I could tell you that there are certain things that you need to do during these quests. You're going to have specific things that say, hey, you have to complete from these guidance of graces, specific things where you have to discover certain areas. You have to go get a sword and bring it back somewhere. But these are typically they're kind of like fetch quests, or they're like just reveal tiles until you get to this part and then maybe add some more tiles to it. There's almost like a sense of exploration because you got to, but not necessarily like, ooh, what's lurking around the corner? Ooh, I don't want to go there. They might chase me down, something like that. There's no elements like that in the game, which kind of takes away from the true exploration feeling of discovering things inside the world just like you would in a Souls game. There's something that's missing. The soul of that is missing. All right, so that's where you go. Let's just say we're zooming into combat so we can talk about combat. I'm going to zoom out real quick so you get a gist of what we're doing, and then we can kind of develop those thoughts. Now, let's go ahead and get into our game experience here and talk about the combat. Uh, these miniatures are actually pretty decent. I have one right here. This is the big old troll that you see in that beginning, that first area here. You can see that over there. These are huge. They have small ones. They have mid-sized ones. I have that big sentinel you see like in the beginning of the game. That's in the game as well. So there's a lot of different options there. But when you get into combat, you're zooming in and you're zooming in the books. Now, you could be fighting someone and someone can join you, or you could be fighting someone on your turn and somebody else can be just walking around the land. When you do, you're going to have these marching order cards. Depending on the player count, you may have one in there or you may have two. The scenario book, the actual battle area book, is going to determine what's going to go on the field and also the rewards that are going to happen. I'm showing you something from the beginning. I'm also cheating a little bit, but I'll give you some pointers on what's going on. You just need to know the gist of the game, right? You don't need to know everything about the game. I'm fighting a wolf and a regular soldier here. And they're all going to have their own marching order cards. These marching order cards represent how you're going to do it in order. Think Aeon's End type stuff, right? You shuffle these cards up and then you pull them out and you lay them out in a line. So I'm going to lay these out in a line. So we're going to have this here. We're going to have this here so you can see them. We'll just kind of do from left to right and things of that nature. Now, as you're doing this, before you even start, you're going to have yourself set up in one of these areas here. And I should have 4 cards because my dial says I should have 4 cards there. And I'll put this here. All right. So then I'll have that. All right. So I'll place these 4 cards in my hand. They are a variation of different types of weapons and also my shield as well, because those are the 2 things I determined here. So my weapon has a whole bunch of different cards in it that I've kind of mixed in. It also has an attachment on it. So the things that I was highlighting in the deck building portion of the game, that comes out here. And I get to display it and try it out. That's the exciting part. But the thing about me putting this on this grid is it's also going to tell me the different types of things I can do. So like if I go through a critical hit, I get to draw another set of cards to make this more exciting and more of like a big swing going for it all. If I do a reposition, I can look at these cards and go, I can move this one over there like that and reposition it by 1 space. If I'm back here, I get to pull more and I get to add to my defensive ability by drawing more cards and things of that nature. So you're going to be able to do more depending on where you start at. But this is also like your grid that you're going to be moving around on, and you're going to be attacking in lanes. The cards are broken up that way, and they give you an idea of the order of how you'll do things. On your turn, you'll be playing cards. On their turn, they have a set of cards, and the enemies that are bigger are going to have multiple cards in here to represent their swing, and like wild something, right? So that's what you're doing. So let's just say it's my turn. I have 3 actions. I have my cards here, and they're going to be variations of different types of things. I may have an attack card like this here. This is called Rapid Strike. So I have this Rapid Strike Area 1 because my rapier is like a pointy kind of thing, and I would play this card. Now, once I play the card, it's going to tell me, hey, I need a specific set of icons, which some of those I will upgrade by fighting souls so I can make a better deck of these cards. So I have more in line what I need for icons. Otherwise, I'll just have a kind of a general deck and hope for the best. But there's still some of that randomness. You'll flip this over and it will determine what you have. I have 2 arms, but when I go there, I can look at the icons on there. Might be a head, might be a thing. So I missed on this one. I'm just going to keep flipping until we get some, so you get an idea here. I have a head here. So the head says I get 2 attack points, but then also cards will trigger and say, hey, like you get another ability. Maybe you pay some of your magic ability or whatnot, and then you pay this, and then you get some extra attack. You can spend it. Or there's cards that are like magic where you can go ting, 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 and you can keep drawing them. It's more like a chain that only represents 1 action. So there's that fun part there. The downside to this is that you're going to have moments where you're thinking like, well, what if I just get duds? Like, just duds. Like I keep missing. Well, that happens in Elden Ring. Sometimes you keep missing. Okay, so keep thinking of that. You also have your kind of just regular, I want to play a card thing. You can just do that, flip it over, and then that will give you a set a number of icons, and that will be like your quick attack. So you can just kind of take it and risk it. Those can be any of these cards, so you can just play them as well. There's even cards that you can play on off turns that will help you just kind of free buff and stuff like that. But that's typically going to be your turn. You're going to be attacking the lanes according to the patterns that you're in. So you always want to make sure you're lined up with specific enemies. These will also have letters on them, which I don't have the letters on them. So you will know which ones they are because there could be multiple wolves. And also these cards and stats and movements are different based on the letters of the enemies. So you'll be attacking this person, and let's just say I did get off this attack. It's going to do 2 damage. I would look and see if they have any issues there. They don't. So then I would do the 2, and that would give them 2 damage. And I can't find the damage tokens all of a sudden. There they are. And then I would put them there. So I'd stack them over there by that enemy, and they would be done. Okay. I was actually in the reposition here. Let's stay there. And then maybe I play the second card there. Maybe I want to just play it for the click slash, and I flip that over. That kills that guy. All right, so then what happens is that wolf is gone, right? And then I turn this sideways, and this enemy decides, hey, I'm going to do this in succession from top to bottom. They move 1 over, and if they couldn't move 1 over, they would move 1 up, but they can't cross this line. Kind of think of it as a hopscotch line or like a, a dodgeball line. You can't go past it. But what they're going to do is attack in their lane and to the side of it. So it's like a T-bar. They'll attack in their lane and then to the side. Well, of course, they're on the side, so I'll look at my cards. They're going to attack for 2. Now, I have defensive cards. I have this force defense here that gives me a little bit of defense against things. So I will play this card, and you will have defenses in the top right corners of all your cards. So you can play this here. I can play Keen, and that gives me 2 defense. Or I could play this actual defense card, one of these cards, just one of them, and flip it over, and it says, hey, once I do that, I can defend 1, but it's got a specific key thing, and it says this tarnish may spend 2 of their magic or defense to reduce the damage by 2 an equal amount of time. So I can use this as well to kind of reduce it down. Okay, so I can reduce this by 2 to take that damage down. When they attack me for 2, it's blocked. And that's what you use these cards for. And you can use any of those cards, but you don't want to waste them all because on your turn, you may have to take actions to get more cards in your hand. And as you can see, I just pulled 2. Well, that's 2 of my actions, and I can only play 1 card. Maybe it's rapid strike and those types of things. So you're going to have these different strategies, and I only have 5 health. So if I get hit for 2 or 3, I could be down to 1 real quick. They do have potions that you can use in the game to help you out with that. You also have your different abilities, like my astronomer. I get some of that back, this magic restored or stamina restored, when I start my turn, or in the beginning, it was like when I blocked and things of that nature. So that's the zoomed out version of, that's the zoomed in version of, let's say, a smaller combat. But let's just say I get to the bigger stuff. Like I'm going to slide this back. And I just want to give you an idea how big this game can get. So you want to see the boss. So I'm actually just going to pull this out, this zoom out, so you can just get an idea. Boom, like this is how big this game can get. So you're going to have, let's say, I think it's this one, this page. No, it's 10. I want to say 12. All right, yeah. So I'll take this and I'll go boom. And you may have something like that's called like the gauntlet, which is like a big fight where you're fighting this bigger dude, and you have to put this out here, this bigger grid that goes out here. Let's say it's like this. I'm probably messing this up, but let's just say it looks like this. You're gonna have a bigger grid to work. You got to work with, and I'm doing this wrong, so please bear with me here. We're gonna have just guess what page this is on, and then put it out there because it represents different setups, right? So there'll be a big line here, and then you'll be fighting an enemy, and this will all lined up, and then you'll put the big guy out here, and they'll take out multiple spaces. Maybe there's 2 of them. right? So it takes up multiple spaces, and you're still going to be in the same spot with your same attributes and things over there. Maybe I'll just switch this over here so it makes a little bit more sense. And then you'll put this out here, and you'll still have your 3 lanes, and you'll be fighting enemies. The trick is that the bigger enemies have not one, not two, but 3 cards here to mix in with there. They may even have more. I haven't seen it, but I mean, you could have a lot more. And then you're fighting these enemies, and they're big, and they take different patterns when they may go left, they may go right and go forward, and then they attack. And then they move. So this one here, of course, they take a big swing, okay, like a gigantic swing that takes up like a chunk of the area here. But if they don't, they're not able to do that. Maybe they move forward and they swing again, and then they move back. So then you have to play that movement and kind of like, okay, I realize how their deck works. And then you may have things that come and help you. Like you can use these different spirits that come out and they assist you in your attacks. You also have these things that you discover in the top world. The murmurs, what are they called? I don't want to buff everything. Murmurings of Crone. You can use those to kind of expose something to help you out in your quest. You may also stun them, and when you stagger them, you have specific things that you can do as well. So there's all kinds of little ways to make this combat really exciting and strategic. That's the part of the game that I really want to emphasize. You can be fighting, a regular guy, like a bigger guy, and then a small guy, and this is all the heat you need. You don't need a troll. The troll is enough on its own, but you can be taken out by, 2 little guys and and a wolf. That's the kind of exciting risks that are in the game, and thankfully, that's a big chunk of the game, and it's where Elden Ring shines. Now, let's go ahead and get back so I can give you a little bit more of my final thoughts on the game and see if it's the right thing for you. We're definitely at our final thoughts point here, and I've covered a lot of things. We talked about the exploration side. Let's just talk about we talked about building up your character. We talked about exploring the game. And then we talked about how the game plays as far as that combat goes. A lot of things have been covered. So I think we should suggest this from a couple different angles. One, were you a backer? How did it feel for you? For me as a backer, I would say, I feel like I got what I paid for. Like, I feel like I got enough content in the base box. And if you add a couple things in there, like you got your big dragons, you got like the thematic touch in there, I like that overall. I felt like I got my money's worth. Now, when I open the box, gaming wise, let's say you're just one of these people who loves Elden Ring. You just bought it because it was on Miniature Market or something like that. You're a fan of Elden Ring, or you're looking to buy it. And I'm like, do I suggest this for people who don't own it yet that are Elden Ring fans? Maybe that's where you are, right? I'm going to give a soft recommendation. It's specifically because of that exploration mode. I don't know if you're going to be feeling it if you're an Elden Ring player as much as, like even I was. I don't think you're going to be up on it. Like you're going to be feeling good about it. Even other content creators have given that feedback. I don't think you're going to be into it. Like at least it's like, this is passable because the combat was so good. And let's just say that the combat, the grid system was smarter than I thought. And the way you can play it out with multiple players was smart. So I was just like, that right there is my selling point. That's actually what kept it on my table, is getting to these combat moments. I almost ran to them, but then when I run to them, I also know the risk of dying. So it's like, that's cool. And learning the intensity of how monsters are, how they move and stuff like that, that's very much Elden Ring. That's the epic moments that do happen often in this game. And I like character development. They do that good enough. Attribute deck, iffy. But I just like that character building portion of this game. Now comes the weird people, the people that come in and they're like, I didn't play video games, but I see this dark thing, and I'm like, dark theme, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Do I spend like 180, 169.99? I didn't back it, but I want to maybe open to it. Do you buy that? Right? I would say, look at more reviews. I would say do a little bit more research. Give it some time. Because while I think this game is worth a soft recommendation, I would say you would be more open-minded to this experience if you see some more playthroughs where they're, flipping the tiles, reading the content to see if that connects with you. Because I would be a person that if I didn't know what Elden Ring was or the Souls series was, I would be more into what the lore tells me because I want to be in the world. And I think that part is sort of lacking. But that's actually on point with the video games. You don't really play the game for the theme. You play it for the bosses and the exploration. And with the board game, you got to kind of give it more theme. And it doesn't have enough there for me. Like I'd click through it in the video game. So that's a part where it's like a sticky point that I felt like that's a big thing for new people. Like, what's in the world? Do I want to be in it? And that's some of that is not exciting anyway. But within this board game, it sort of misses that. So it's tough to recommend. Overall, this is like a soft recommendation. You can see how I'm kind of like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. But it's going to be that way. It's just going to stay that way. I'm still playing it, but I can see myself getting tired of playing it. But it's not like a crazy, crazy amount of content. It's just a good, healthy amount of content. And you could even go smaller with this and just go with one of the smaller base boxes so you're not paying a crap ton of money right up front. But overall, I think this is a good experience that represents the elements that I look for from a Souls type game. And that's why I'm still going to play this one. It is exciting. When it gets exciting and that combat gets going, I'm all in. I love the intensity of the combat and that grid system. It's just, that was a really smart move on their part, and how it plays out in multiplayer was yet another smart choice. So that's where my hard recommendation comes in. All right, I think I've been talking enough back and forth because that's my experience. But hopefully I helped you make an informed decision because I can't tell you what to do with your money. If I was to give this game a score, it is literally a 7. It is a lower 7, and it is like 7. It's just 7, all right? Like I hate playing those games. It's like a 7 to me, which is just a good game. But for some people, they're like, this sounds average. I'm like, yes, yeah, I give it a little bit past. I'm going to 7. So hopefully that helps you decide whether you want to purchase this game. I'll let you know my thoughts beyond this if you follow me in my group. Otherwise, you take care and have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. That always helps us out. And you take care.